What's up, guys? Had a great question come in through Instagram again on program design tips. This coach came across some older videos of mine where I gave, I think, 5 program design tips. And in that program design video, I spoke about catering the workout for the individual, meaning if that athlete needs a gut check because he is always caving in under pressure, he is not mentally tough, as broad as that statement is, or he always, if he's a wrestler, he always loses the match in overtime, or he always loses by 1 point. If he's a runner, he always takes second place, third place, because he fears competing at the higher level. He kind of self-destructs himself. So somebody who doesn't have the confidence, doesn't have the toughness, I cater the workout after I get kind of past the bulk of what all of them need in a group setting to what they need. Because his question was, in a group setting, is this doable? Meaning, do you let somebody go home if they're crushed and they need a deload? Absolutely. So we will go through a workout. And that's the thing, especially as an independent strength coach. In one group, you could have 5, 10 or more different needs happening at the same time, and you've got to tweak it. So in that group setting, and I've done this when I was at Lehigh at a Division I school, I would do this when Rutgers wrestlers would come to me. I remember one athlete would say, I'm not feeling as fast, I'm not feeling as explosive, but he was very physical, very strong. So while the other guys were maybe doing 5x3 heavy, he was doing 5x3 speed work, explosive work. My whole goal with him was moving the weight faster. And that's what a great coach is going to do. He or she will not give a blanket training program for everybody to follow and not take into consideration the individual discrepancies, the individual needs. And that's going to come when you genuinely care. So I might get to the finisher, and this athlete might do sleds, back extensions, and abs because his legs are weak, his back is weak, and basically he's missing that foundation. I might see another athlete who's got like a skinny upper body, so I'm going to say, okay, you're going to do sleds, and then you're going to do chain push-ups for sets of 15 to 20 reps to do some hypertrophy, whatever you want to call it, bodybuilding work. Or an athlete might be coming off like an old shoulder injury. So I'm going to build up the support muscles. So you're going to do sleds, you're going to do rear delt, raises with dumbbells or kettlebells, plus side raises and pull aparts. Then I might have him do an arm workout, thick bar curls and kettlebell triceps laying on the floor. So I'm going to build his support muscles. And by building the physical needs, I'm also trying to build them mentally, psychologically, where they start feeling, oh, these weak areas are not so weak. So you've got to be great at organizing. And I'll close out with this. People often ask, the knowledge base, the knowledge level needed of a strength coach. My organizational skills definitely came from what I learned as a teacher, and that came during my college years. My strength and conditioning knowledge and know-how is not so much what came from my undergrad and my graduate degree. That knowledge came from the many, many years I've spent training others. I started training others in '95, and it was mostly adults at that time, but then in the summertime they'd bring their kids in, and I would start training their kids. And I was a 19, 20-year-old back then. And then it's the constant evolution of learning what, new methods. But here's the tricky thing, training athletes. Every few years, we start noticing these different trends. Past few years, we see extremely tight T-spine mid-back. We see extremely tight ankles where everybody's walking duck foot. We see weaker than ever before athletes. So everybody's, posting these amazing videos on YouTube and Instagram. And, I look at it and I say, okay, that looks cool, but in no way in the world is the majority of this stuff going to be applicable unless I'm with a very high-level athlete. And this will make you think. I remember going to Lehigh thinking we're at the Division I level, high-level athletes, top 10 team in the country. And I remember doing deadlifts on day one, and more than half of them could not deadlift, could not do the eccentric portion of a deadlift without rounding their back, or they didn't know how to set up properly and be tight. High-level athletes, low-level strength conditioning. They didn't have the knowledge. They didn't have the kinesthetic awareness of how to set up properly. So there's a lot of details that you must keep perfecting and bettering yourself. Every day as a coach, you got to get better. That is the only option. And this is what's going to give your athletes the best opportunity to succeed. You owe it to them. How will they have the best opportunity? By you getting better. Peace, guys. Hit the links below.